The U.S. Open trophy was at stake, and the best tennis players in the world competed against each other. On Wednesday night, though, they came together for a Tennis Plays for Peace show to raise money for humanitarian aid in Ukraine. What a nice thing for some of the best athletes in the world to do. This and a lot more in today's video. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Nadal, Swiatek, and Gauff lead Ukraine's support at U.S. Open. Rafael Nadal, Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, John McEnroe, and many more stars played tennis for 2 hours to raise money for people in Ukraine who are suffering. Recently, retired Ukrainian players Sergei Stakhovsky and Olga Savchuk were also there. After an opening ceremony with Stakhovsky, Savchuk, and Patrick McEnroe as the host, the Ukrainian national anthem was played, and then Nadal and Swiatek played against Gauff and McEnroe in a mixed doubles match. Swiatek made a joke about Coach Rafa. On the last point, he told me that John was going to serve wide, but he was wrong. Wow, he's not always right, she said as Nadal laughed. Swiatek has held her own charity event in the past to help children in Ukraine. The top player in the world was happy to help the cause again. McEnroe grew up 15 minutes from Flushing Meadows. He was also the chair umpire for a while later in the event, which was kind of funny. The former #1 player in the world thanked the crowd for its support. During the event, all matches ended in ties. The winning team was the first to get to 10 points. Americans Jessica Pegula and Ben Shelton played against Felix Auger-Aliassime and Leila Fernandez of Canada, with John McEnroe in the chair. Italian Matteo Berrettini and Ukrainian Katerina Savatska played against Maria Sakkari and Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece. Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz and American Sam Querrey also played against Maria Sakkari and Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece. Francis Tiafoe played against Americans Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul, and he stayed on the court to play with Ukrainian Diana Yastremska against American Sebastian Korda and Daria Snigor. Even though these were exhibition games, the stakes were raised. At one point, Paul used a huge tennis racket, which made the crowd cheer. Before Sakkari served to Berrettini, Tsitsipas said he would give $10,000 if the Italian missed the return. Berrettini didn't make it, and Tsitsipas was happy to confirm that he would still give. All the money made from the event will go to the Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund of Global Giving. The USTA has said before that it hopes the U.S. Open will bring in at least $2 million for the cause. Next, Iga Swiatek on other players' reactions to her 37-match winning streak. Iga Swiatek is having one of the most dominant stretches in the history of women's tennis. The #1 player in the world is from Poland. She has 8,605 ranking points, which is almost twice as many as the #2 player Anett Kontaveit, who has 4,360 points. Swiatek's 37-match winning streak, on the other hand, is still the best thing about her season so far. At a press conference after she won the third round of the 2022 U.S. Open, a reporter asked the Pole how her fellow players reacted when the streak ended in July. Swiatek began by saying that even though a lot of players had congratulated her, she didn't know how they really felt. The two-time Grand Slam winner also said that she could tell some of the players were jealous, and she said that she would have felt the same way. "I'm glad they're helping, but I'm sure some of them are a little jealous. We're all working to win, but we should pay more attention to the process and stuff. Everybody wants to win. I'm just glad they don't show it off so much that it makes them want it. I would feel the same way. I'm glad that for a while I was the one who was winning," she said. This year, she has won 6 singles titles in a row, starting with the Qatar Open in February. After that, the 21-year-old won the Indian Wells Open, the Miami Open, the Stuttgart Open, the Italian Open, and her second Grand Slam title at the French Open. Her winning streak ended at the 2022 Wimbledon Championships when French player Alizé Cornet beat her 6-4, 6-2 in the third round. Venus Williams used to have the record for the most wins in a row since 2000. She had 35. Moving on, tennis fans react to Nick Kyrgios and Daniil Medvedev's clash in 2022 U.S. Open fourth round. Daniil Medvedev, who is #1 in the world, will play Nick Kyrgios in the fourth round of the 2022 U.S. Open on Sunday. The defending champion, Medvedev, has done well so far in New York. He hasn't lost a set at Flushing Meadows this year, and he moved on to the fourth round by beating Yibing Wu of China 6-4, 6-2, 6-2. Kyrgios, on the other hand, has been doing just as well. Only against Benjamin Bonts in the second round did he lose a set. After beating J.J. Wolf 6-4, 6-2, 6-3 in the third round, he set up a match with Medvedev. The last time they played, at the Canadian Open, the Australian won in 3 sets. He has a 3-1 record against the American. Fans are clearly looking forward to the match, and one of them said that he will enjoy it no matter who wins. "Even though I don't really care, I'm looking forward to this because it should be good. I like Medvedev a little bit more, but if Nick beats beats him, I think Nick is more likely to lose before the final. So if Rafael makes it to the final, he won't have to play either of them. Not sure, but excited, he put words on paper. Another user is just as excited about the drama as the tennis match. Drama and chaos. This is what I'm living for, she said in a tweet. One of them's going to be out of the competition in the fourth round, and another fan said she was sad that neither of them would go further in New York. The tweet said, "It's a shame we're going to lose one of those menaces so early." Nick Kyrgios thinks he has a good chance of beating Daniil Medvedev in the fourth round of the 2022 U.S. Open. The Australian said at a press conference that he is one of the few players who can beat the world number one. Now, all we can do is wait. In other related news, Frances Tiafoe on facing Rafael Nadal in 2022 U.S. Open fourth round. Frances Tiafoe doesn't feel the need to study Rafael Nadal's game or watch a video analysis of it because he watched the Spaniard closely as a kid and then practiced with and played against him as a pro. This year at the U.S. Open, the American has been in great shape. He beat Diego Schwartzman 7-6, 6-4, 6-4 on Saturday to get to the fourth round at Flushing Meadows, where he'll play the number 3 player in the world. Tiafoe told reporters after the match that he was looking forward to playing the Spaniard in New York. The world number 26 said that keeping up with Nadal's intensity was the hardest part of playing against him. Frances Tiafoe and Rafael Nadal have already played each other twice, and both times the former world number 1 won without dropping a set. In the quarterfinals of the 2019 Australian Open, they played each other for the first time. The 36-year-old won 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 to move on to the semifinals. The next and last time they played each other was at the Madrid Masters that same year. The 22-time Grand Slam winner won 6-3, 6-4. Even though the American knows how those matches turned out, he thinks he's a much better player now and is sure he can beat Nadal for the first time. Finally, Rafael Nadal's father and sister attend his U.S. Open third-round match against Richard Gasquet following anxious conversation with Carlos Moya. Rafael Nadal played Richard Gasquet in the third round of the U.S. Open on Saturday night. His father and sister were there to watch. The Spaniard's family members were in his box after his second-round match against Fabio Fognini when he looked like he was mentally struggling. Rafael Nadal said that his match with the Italian was his worst start ever because he lost the first set and a break. In fact, the Spaniard could be seen talking to his coach Carlos Moya during the second set. Nadal finally got himself together and won the match in 4 sets to move on to the third round of the U.S. Open. Nadal might have felt better about his wife back home knowing that his family was watching from the stands. Rafael Nadal beat Richard Gasquet 6-0, 6-1, 7-5 to move on to the fourth round of the U.S. Open. It was the first time this year at the tournament that he won in straight sets. Nadal will play 22nd seed Frances Tiafoe next. Tiafoe beat 14th seed Diego Schwartzman 7-6, 6-4, 6-4 to get into the last 16. In the last 16 of the Madrid Masters that year, they played each other again, and the former world number 1 won 6-3, 6-4. Nadal will be the favorite going into the match, but Tiafoe is very confident he can give him a run for his money. In the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, the winner will play either 7th-seeded Cameron Norrie or 9th-seeded Andrei Rublev. Unfortunately, guys, that's all the time we had for today. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, cheers!